All right, this is called a Strong's Concordance. It's named Strong's Concordance because the guy who made it apparently was named James Strong. And what it is told to us to do is give you the Hebrew and the Greek definitions of words. That's all they tell you that this is, but I've tried to show you guys on many occasions that the numbers in here are extremely prophetic. It's absolutely supernatural. So I want to show you something really cool that I found. So in the Bible, you have 39 books in the Old Testament. That's what we call it, the Old Testament. And 27 books in the New Testament. So you have 39 and 27. If you take those numbers and put them together, 3927, under that number, 3927 in the Greek, it means sojourning in a strange place. How pinpoint accurate is that to describe the Bible? Because Bible means basic instructions before leaving Earth. Now check this out. There's more to this. On the bottom it says a sojourner or a foreigner. That's what we are. Literally someone passing through, but still with personal relationships with the people in that locale. Then if you go down, some definitions are sojourning in a strange place, exiles, reside as aliens and strangers. That's what we are. We are the actual aliens to this world. We're in a strange land called Fallen Earth. Then, if you keep reading, it says, one who comes from a foreign country into a city or land to reside there by the side of the natives. Hence, strangers sojourning in a strange place, a foreigner. Then it says, in reference to heaven as the native country, one who sojourns on earth. So it's saying heaven is and was our true home, our native land, but here on earth, we're just sojourners. And this is all from the number, coming from the number of books in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Number 3927. Basically, the Bible. And that's what the Bible shows us. Here's another one I've shown a couple years ago. It's really amazing, though. It's too amazing not to talk about again. If you go to the Hebrew number of the years from 2022 to 2029, and you look in the Hebrew at the numbers in the Hebrew. So, for instance, the year 2022 in the Hebrew is 5782. And then 2023 would be 5783, and so on, all the way up to 2029, which is 5789. What you see is the Garden of Eden pattern happening in these last 7 years, because that's what this is. That's what this is. That's what we're in. We're in the last 7 years. I'll take it from the top and explain. So in 5782 at the top, that's 2022, it says this: through the idea of opening the eyes to wake. And that's exactly what happened to Adam and Eve when they ate the fruit. Their eyes were opened. Okay. The next year, 5783, which is 2023, it says, be made naked. That's amazing, because after their eyes were opened, then they knew that they were naked. 5784, just 2024, is chaff. And that's interesting to me because after they were fallen, it's kind of like they were chaff, right? Now here's the amazing one, 5785 for 2025 is hide, leather, by implication, hide, leather. Now that's amazing, because after their eyes were open and they knew that they were naked and chaff, then what did God do? He covered them with animal skins. Hide, that's another word there. Skin. You see that? And that is 2025, a picture of the rapture. You see that? That's symbolically what God was showing us in the garden. When he covered them with skins after they knew that they were naked, that's symbolic of being covered with light. Because Jesus is the Lamb. Get it? Skins, animal skins being covered with light, being changed. Then if you look at the next 3 years, 5786, 5787, 5788, which is 2026, 27, or 28, it's amazing, because that is the 42 months of great tribulation. And it says for 2026, through the idea of a film over the eyes, to blind. That's 2026. Now 2027 or 5787 says blind people. 2028 or 5788 says blindness. Blind. That is the 3 years right there. And then part of 2029, which is 5789. But in 5789, it says to assemble self. That is the gathering together. You see that? The gathering of, I believe, the remnant of the bloodline of Israel at the end of the 3.5 years of blindness. And this also shows you that Adam and Eve were naked for 3 years before God covered them with the skins, with the animal skins. Just like the first 3 or 3.5 years of this last 7 years. And then we are covered with the skins symbolically, which symbolically today we know that means to be changed, to be covered with the Lamb, to be covered with light. That is the last 7 years in the Strong's Concordance prophetically. And they don't tell you this. You'll never ever hear this in a church building. Because they say, oh, the Strong's Concordance is just for the definitions of words in Hebrew and Greek. Because they don't have the revelation. And even if they did, 99% of them are too cowardice to even talk about things like this. Even though the Bible tells us in Ephesians 1:17 and 18 that God is going to give us revelation and let us understand mysteries. So here it is. If you, again, the formula is looking in the Hebrew years of 2022 to 2029, which is from 5782 to 5789. And then you look in the Hebrew, not the Greek. This is the Hebrew. And in the Hebrew, you have this prophetic timeline right here of the Garden of Eden pattern happening all over again, symbolically, in the Strong's Concordance. But you have to know, one thing you have to know is that the Great Tribulation is only 42 months. And then the other thing you have to know is that we're in the last 7 years, so that you know where to look and what you're looking for.